Hi there. So I wanted to answer a question that's come up quite a bit. Our company hired someone to help us implement some of our marketing strategy, and one of those being to collect testimonials from clients. And she went to talk to some of them and came back and said, "Oh my gosh, Kaeli, I can't believe the kind of financial growth that some of these practices have had. I really think we should lead with this. Why are we not talking more about the numbers?" And so I wanted to address that question, one, how I responded to her, but also to clarify a little bit about my philosophy and why I don't lead with growth. I believe that a brilliant aesthetic owner can do with a business coach is to make money. The number one reason is that a number just doesn't even matter if it doesn't make you happy. You could have a goal of making $1 million. You may hustle and work and push and try harder and do more things and spend more money to get to that goal, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be happy along the way. It doesn't necessarily mean that your compass is pointed on a journey for growth that is going to bring you joy. I would much rather work with someone who said, my goal is to have XYZ schedule, XYZ impact. My goal is to make this sort of impression or imprint on my clients or in my industry. I want this kind of a lifestyle. Then we can reverse engineer the things that need to happen to help achieve that goal. The financial aspect of what happens along the way, how much money you make, the way that that money is made, how much is saved, how much is spent, that whole piece of it is byproduct of that journey. Setting out to achieve a lifestyle that brings you joy and autonomy and influence and impact in the world, i.e. producing a profit that creates financial wealth that you can then reinvest into your future and build a legacy, that is different than just looking at a number. Number two is that growth is relative. We had a client that said, I grew my business 100% year over year, which was pretty significant. In this particular case, that number was pretty badass. But for me to go run out and say, I can help you grow your business or guarantee business growth of 100% year over year, what does that mean? That could mean you could take your business from 500,000 to $1 million or 1 million to 2 million, or it could mean you could take your business from $20 to $40. It's all relative. It also doesn't mean that you're actually making a profit on that. Just because you grow your business 100% year over year, how much did you have to spend to make that money? How much time did you have to put into your business to make that amount of money? It's all relative to me, and it doesn't in fact mean anything in terms of the impact that growth is going to make in your financial success. In fact, I've worked with plenty of broke millionaires, plenty of them. That's why I think that's very misleading to say, if you ask me how fast will I pay back my investment working with you, that's a red flag. That's the wrong question. That's an amateur question to ask. A better question would be, what kind of person will I become? How will you help me become the person who has the ability of achieving this goal by the way my goal is or my financial goal is? And how can we work out a plan to get to there? And then number three is that hyper growth is actually not always sustainable. Growing at an extremely fast pace can actually be counterproductive for your business. This sort of inflection point is where we actually get a lot of calls from practices to help them with their business, to put systems in place, to help them reel things back. So sometimes we're so good at what we do, right? That like we actually grow extremely fast. And making money is pretty easy, right? It's like we can make investments that we know we're going to have a return for us. Is that going to be sustainable? Are we going to have the right people in place? Are we going to have the right systems in place and processes to be able to scale at that pace? Usually it's the slower growth, the slow and steady kind of wins the race in the end, because what you're doing is you're growing at an organic pace that is not putting so much stress on your systems that you're out of whack, or even more importantly on you, so that you're growing so fast that you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You guys see me post all the time about resting, and I've learned this the hard way. I've had to do my own personal development around what growth means and what kind of growth. And I'll leave you with this. I don't think that growing more and having more and becoming more always makes you better, but I believe that becoming better, becoming smarter will always bring more. So I would say, instead of focusing on hyper growth or focusing on the growth number or what am I going to make next year, focus on getting better, focus on being better, and more will come. All right. Thanks, guys.